All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So we got a lot to talk about in today's stream. I'm sure the number one thing on everybody's mind as they woke up and looked at their phones this morning are the cryptocurrency prices are still, down from where they were the day before. Another big sharp leg downward. This is 2 days in a row. I know this is making some people nervous, so I want to jump on this stream, give you my thoughts on this, why I think there's still some good news here. We're going to look at some actual news that's broken that's, bullish for crypto overall. Kind of what I think is going on with the big picture here. So before we get into that, if you're new around here, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step by step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so we got people rolling in the chat here. We got Simplistic, Camjock, Morgan, Patrick, Ahmed, David, Average Joe, Junior, Simon. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Somebody says they lost some money. So hopefully it's just paper losses and we can hold on a little while and get some of that money back. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started here. You guys, always full disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not, warranted financial advice. I'm not a big trader, not a big TA guy. When I look at the prices here, I'm mostly going to look at the stuff that I'm personally invested in, tell you how I feel about it from the big picture perspective, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and jump in and check out the markets here. So we're seeing a lot of red, right? Some pretty ugly downtrends. We saw this yesterday, saw kind of a big reversal and this just like crazy run up, and we laid down a little further. I've been talking about this on my Twitter some, when we were approaching 2K for Ethereum or Ether, I was like, I could see 2K happening really soon. It crossed it in a few days after I said that. And then as soon as it hit 2K, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a sharp correction, and that's what's happened. So let me tell you why I was thinking that, what I think could happen in the short term. So, I mean, we've been going up like crazy since December, basically. Everybody's talking. I've seen a lot of talk about how Ether, like, oh, it's just this underperforming coin, like it's just so slow. Bitcoin's been going up, and Ether has been like doing nothing. That's really not true. I mean, over 180 days, like, or even a year, like Ether has done tremendous from its March low, right? So it's not as much as like some of these crazy low cap altcoins have done, thousands of percent. But still, Ether has performed really, really well. That being said, if you look at it from here, December into where we've come in February, it's a crazy like shot upward. I mean, this is like a clear parabola forming, right? So whenever that happens, I mean, we see these big pullbacks in crypto, and what goes up typically comes down. A lot of people like to FOMO in when they see the price going up like crazy. They think it's a validation that's going to keep going up. But that's typically, basically when everybody thinks they're not going to lose money, that's when people end up losing money, okay? It's just opposite psychology. One of the most maximal points of financial opportunity is when nobody thinks they're going to make money. And then one of the biggest times of, risk is when nobody thinks they're going to lose money, right? So that's sort of my big take on where we are right now. So I think this is like the long-term top that we're going to enter into some sort of like multi-year bear market or something right here. I don't think so personally. And, I could sit here and, make myself look like an idiot looking at TA and charts and volume and all this kind of stuff. But for me, the bigger picture is, I mean, I listen to some people who are really good at that kind of stuff. But to me, the big picture is we haven't seen like a massive blow off top. And if we're going back to what I talked about yesterday on the stream, whereas if you go by the cycle theory, the boom and bust cycles, it just doesn't look like this massive euphoric top like we've seen in the past. If history will somewhat repeat itself, and if that will be an indicator of the top, I don't think we've hit it yet. So let's look at some metrics that support that idea. So we can look at, we like to look at the Nupal chart. So we can look at it for Bitcoin. We can look at it for Ether as well. I mean, I've been talking about this how Nupal's looking a little dicey. So Nupal's net unrealized profit. So basically, it's looking at how much of the network is actually in profit on Bitcoin, for example. We can look at for Ether too. I like to look at it at Bitcoin because it seems to be a pretty good indicator of what the overall market's doing. So, I mean, we kissed the euphoria line. So the big picture here is once you get into blue territory, that's kind of the danger zone. You look at it historically, when you get into blue territory, that's typically when major long-term corrections happen. All right. I mean, there's some exceptions here. Like, I think this is some of an exception, right? But, I mean, crypto is so new. Like, we're still figuring out how the markets work. We're kind of testing. We're getting more and more history to test our assumptions about how we think the prices work and how the network works. But, yeah, I mean, the big, the counterexamples here are when we were much lower market cap earlier in the price history and all that kind of stuff. So if we go into blue territory, it's definitely going to be a warning. We didn't do that. So why is this important? Well, whenever we do a dump like this, it can be healthy for the overall market. It sucks to see, money get lost in the short term, but we're thinking long term for the market. When the Nupal drops, the Nupal metric drops, it actually resets the ceiling for euphoria. So basically, people have lost money. It sucks. It's unfortunate. But when that happens, then basically the price of Bitcoin can go up before we get back to this euphoric territory. Okay. So we see these big corrections happen in bull markets. They can be healthy to shake out over leveraged traders. They can be healthy to do stuff like reset Nupal. And, we could correct more. We saw Nupal drop all the way here. We saw the price of Bitcoin drop quite a bit in January. We could go down farther than this, but I don't personally think we're at a long-term top, simply because it doesn't look like we've had this, euphoric blow-off top. So let's see here. Somebody says it will never go to zero anymore. I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. I don't think Ether's going to zero. I think there will be some, brand new altcoin projects that will probably come pretty close to zero over time. That's the thing about the crypto market. There's a lot of junk out there. And some of the junk is just going to go to zero, I think. So what's the lowest you see it going to? I don't like to make big calls on that type of stuff. I'm usually wrong on those types of things. Like I say, I'm not a big trader, not a big TA guy. I just try to look at the big picture and see when should I be taking profits and when should I be buying back in. I'm pretty comfy in my own personal positions. I'm probably not going to buy this dip. I mean, maybe if it goes down a lot, maybe I will. But I'm fully invested at this point. All right, so let's get on to some. Let's look at another piece of analysis here. I saw this thread come up on Twitter this morning, and I thought it was pretty cool. I'll look at some metrics here. This will be some more metrics we can look at, kind of in addition to what I'm talking about. So let's look at actual Ethereum itself. So 10 charts to capture the state of Ethereum. So generally speaking, the health of the Ether price is going to track somewhat to the Bitcoin price. I don't mean that they're totally coupled or anything like that. But what I mean is Bitcoin's a pretty good indicator of the overall health of the market in terms of where we are. So we can similarly say that Ether's probably relatively healthy when Bitcoin's relatively healthy. But anyways, let's look at some actual Ether metrics. So 10 charts that capture the state of Ethereum. So number 1 of 10, the number of addresses with more than 1 ETH in balance hit an all-time high on December 12th. Okay. It's currently at 1.7 million, so it's a little bit less than what it was. Maybe a little bit of retail sell-off is what the thesis here is. I have to look at Glassnode. Here's the chart right now. I could pull that up on Glassnode, but there's a nice convenient screenshot here. So the number of new addresses is trending towards the previous all-time high. Its previous all-time high was 348,000. That was in January 2018. So that was the last major ETH, euphoric blow-off top that I was talking about. That's a pretty good indicator. euphoric blow off top is when you have all these participants, market participants jumping in for the first time, buying Ether, chasing this meteoric rise. That hasn't happened yet. Okay. So here's what's the previous cycle. We're trending that direction, but this is what it looked like last time at the euphoric blow off top compared to where we are now. That being said, as the market cap grows, and the number of participants grow, the ceiling for this could be higher, right? If we reach this number at more of a slow and steady rise, that doesn't necessarily indicate it's a blow off top, but if you have to look more at the velocity of change. So if we go up like this, like crazy fast, that would be more of an indicator, not the actual number itself. So the network percentage in smart contracts is a good measure of how the network is in use. Commonly, this involves DeFi, ICOs, etc. The figure in 2016 with the Dow during the ICO boom, I think it was 4 to 6% of ETH in smart contracts, and now it's at 20%. So a lot of this is going to be liquidity for DeFi applications. You know, we have a lot more reason for stuff to be in smart contracts. I think it's a big factor, but that's some pretty cool stuff on the Ethereum. So this is a cool thread. You can go check this out on Twitter. But this will give you an idea. The amount that's of ETH has been stagnant, has been increasing for 1 to 3 months, which is awesome too. So basically, it means ETH is not getting sent into exchanges and not getting sold. Okay, so those are some cool metrics on the Ethereum network right now. So let's look at some really important news. So Tether. This is good news for the crypto prices. Crypto prices somewhat trade on news, okay? It's hard to know how much news actually affects the price, but this is good timing for this correction. So let's pull up what the news is with Tether. So the long story short is people have been worried about Tether for some time. So let me explain why. So basically, Tether is the stable coin. A lot of people are familiar with if you trade cryptocurrencies. If you're just interested in blockchain technology, explain basically Tether is a stable coin that lets people come in and out of trades, transfer value. It's pegged to the US dollar. You don't have the same volatility in price. Okay, so how does a stable coin work? Well, it's really important to understand because some people say like, oh well, why can't the Bitcoin price just be stable? Well, Bitcoin's price comes from people trading it on exchanges and the market valuing it. So a stable coin basically has to have assets that back up the price of it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to be able to go to a place where you can redeem stable coins, and somebody has to guarantee that value. So if I want to have a stable coin, I have to go to somebody and say, always, I give you stable coins, you give me dollars back, or whatever my equivalent currency is at a fixed redemption rate. Okay. So that's essential. So in order for a stablecoin to do that, it has to have reserves backing it up. Now, for a long time, people have been worried about Tether specifically because they think that like Tether doesn't actually have all the assets to back up their cryptocurrency. And like the suspicion is that, well, we don't know how many assets Tether actually has. And are they just like magically printing Tether to buy Bitcoin, prop the Bitcoin price up? People worry about Bitcoin price manipulation by Tether just like getting injected into the market, buying up Bitcoin out of thin air, basically. So Tether's been under a legal investigation about this type of thing for a while. This is the high level. I mean, I may get some of these nitty gritty details wrong. If I have any, you can correct me down in the comments or the chat below. But the big picture is people don't worry about Tether, thinking that Tether doesn't actually have as much money as they say they do, backing everything up. They've been in they've been under some legal scrutiny for a while now, and now we have some clarity about what the New York Attorney General thinks about this. So basically, the big picture is Tether basically got a slap on the wrist, has been cleared of any quote unquote wrongdoing. So let's just look at it here. As previously reported by Cointelegraph, the lawsuit with the New York Attorney General alleged that tethers were not fully backed by reserves at certain times. That's what I was just talking about. The suspicion is that like Tether doesn't actually have as much money as they say they do, and that Tether's getting printed out of thin air. Specifically, Bitfinex, who controls Tether, is alleged to have opened a line of credit with Tether to repay $850 million shortfall from its failures as a support partner. The line of credit has since been closed. Okay, so that's been closed. As reported by Tether and confirmed by authorities, while documents make specific claims to the status of Tether reserves in 2017 and 2018, this is the important part. The regulators did not seem to have any issues with Tether's reserve status in 2021. So that's really important, okay? So basically, Tether is settled with a fine of $18.5 million. Yeah, it's a slap on the wrist. They've been found to be healthy in 2021, and this is bullish for crypto prices. Now, if Tether, came into some real scrutiny and they were found to be guilty, and in 2021, they found out that like Tether has a fraction of the money that they say they do, it would be bad. But this is good news, and this is likely going to increase confidence in the markets. Like I said, it's hard to know how much news impacts the markets, but I think if this had come out and it had been the opposite news what we see today, it'd be worse. Put it that way. So this is good news. All right, so about some more good news. It's something you can actually watch here in a few minutes. So more news about Mark Cuban. I've been talking about Mark a lot on this channel, on these streams. Big blockchain bull, big Ethereum bull. So Mark says, if I were to start a business right now, this is what I would do. So this is on CNBC.com. This is not like, Cointelegraph or some other cryptocurrency blog. So Mark, part of his background is he became a billionaire just before the dot-com bubble burst. All right. And what he's saying now is if Cuban were to start a company today, he would utilize new technology. He would start with a center of business around blockchain technology, smart contracts, and NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, which he says reminds him of the early days of the internet. Now, we've seen a lot of people inside the crypto bubble talk about, blockchain being like the early days of the internet, but this is, confirmation from people on the outside who are, billionaires, people who are innovative, people who were actually here doing things in the early days of the internet who are saying the same types of things. So this is awesome. I love to see Mark talking about this. He's actually going to be live on a different channel that you can go check out after this. So it's Bankless. So I don't know if you guys know about this. This is a channel that talks a lot about Ethereum and DeFi. So apparently he is coming on live right after this. I think it's going to be, actually it may be, you'll see here. Yeah, I think it's going to be here at the top of the hour. So you can go look at Bankless on YouTube. And if you want to go see Mark live on there, check it out. All right, so we got some questions in here. So somebody says, go to the Masterclass if you want the NFT Masterclass. If you want to go to NFT. Yeah, totally. So quick reminder for everybody, we're going to do the NFT Masterclass tomorrow. So I'm going to show you how to launch your own NFT, how to sell it, how to put it on a public website, how to put it on IPFS so that it can't be, so it's fully decentralized. So that, NFTs are a huge trend right now. Yeah, totally. It's going to be tomorrow. If I remember, I'll put a link down in the description below for the replay. I didn't do it before the live stream, but after it ends, I'll put the link down there. All right, so let's see. We got some more questions here. Yeah, somebody's going to put the link for the class. I'll put it down in the description after the stream. I didn't have it before the stream, unfortunately, so I'll just have to do it after. You can catch on the replay. So another thing to think about for the crypto markets in the short term, I talked yesterday about how March has historically been bad for cryptocurrencies. I don't have the chart in front of me to pull it up, but I showed it on the stream yesterday. March has historically been a bad month for, Bitcoin in particular. I don't have the metrics for all cryptocurrencies in the past, but if you kind of look at Bitcoin being somewhat of a indicator of the overall market health, many years in the past, March has been, negative return on Bitcoin. So let's see if that happens again this year. I mean, January has also historically been somewhat bad. January was good this year. Like I was saying, It wouldn't surprise me if we saw some of this hot air get sucked out and see Nupal fall lower along with the prices. And honestly, that would be a healthier long-term solution for the overall price getting much higher and getting back some headroom. Because like I said, it sucks to watch people lose money. It sucks to, for this type of stuff to happen. But if it's going to go, to 100K, I mean, there's two options. You could just blast straight off to 100K right now, but then that's probably the top. Because if, we enter into a euphoric state and it just goes vertical for, 15, 30 days, it probably won't sustain that. So if we're going to do it, if we're going to do that and potentially go beyond, which, not financial advice, then I would like to see this come down a little more. So the reason I bring that up is if March does go negative and we start to see this kind of drop more, then that would kind of line up with some of the past history. The other thing to think about is the stock market. So the stock market has, hasn't been doing great for a little while. I think crypto markets are still somewhat correlated to the stock market in the sense that, if the stock market absolutely tanked, then we'd probably see that pour over into crypto markets as well. I mean, that happened back in March of 2020. We saw the big dump. Crypto markets sharply corrected as well. Now, that being said, I mean, that was, some people measure that as the beginning of the bull market. Depends on kind of what your outlook is. But if we look back in March, whenever this happened, right? Some people say this is the beginning of the bull market. Some people say, back here was. It's hard to say. I mean, it was not game over for crypto. If anything, it was sort of like a phoenix from the flames type scenario. Somebody says, Tether lawsuit settled. Yeah, totally. It's 100% settled. All right, so we got some more questions in the chat here. Does owning NFTs make you a nerd? Kind of. All right, let's see if we got any more questions here. Okay, awesome. Somebody saying for the great videos and explanations. They help a lot. Awesome. Glad they help. Are going to teach a class for NFT without programming skills. So inside the Masterclass, you don't have to be an advanced coder. That's the one that's going to happen tomorrow. I've done most of the heavy lifting for you. You do need to have, technically inclined in the sense that you're not scared to sit down with a computer, get your hands dirty, but you have to be an advanced coder. As long as you can follow step-by-step instructions, you'll be good. So it's a great video yesterday. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we had a new coding tutorial out. So, if you've been watching these updates, been watching the Ether space, you're like, hey, where's the next coding tutorial? Well, I just dropped one yesterday. It's a 2-hour tutorial. It shows you how to build a DeFi application. You can go check it out on my YouTube homepage. There's a playlist down there called Free Blockchain Development Courses. It's the first video in that playlist. It's also, one of my latest videos on YouTube. What's the target price for ETH in March? I don't have a target. Somebody says that Masterclass is available in the bootcamp. People get some questions a lot, like bootcamp versus the Masterclasses. So all the Masterclasses are part of Blockchain Mastery University, which is a it's a community where you get the weekly updated videos on blockchain DeFi. So a lot of the coding videos that I used to do on YouTube are now like a part of that program and more. So you get to do the master classes about once a month. There's a 24/7 community chat in there where you can reach out, ask for help, connect with other people who are learning the same thing as you. So yeah, that's like a membership community. The boot camp is separate. So boot camp is like the step-by-step curriculum on how to become a real world blockchain developer from scratch. So you go through all the concepts, building a real world application, getting you ready like you would build at a job. So it's way more advanced than the tutorials that I do on YouTube, but it's also good for beginners too. So it's for beginners, it's for people who are already coders, everybody in between. So somebody says Matic, Loop Ring, layer 2 solutions are on track. Yeah, totally. For beginners trading, what's best to use? Binance. So another thing to think about, we've been talking about Binance Smart Chain a lot on the channel lately. People have been asking about this. Like I've actually got another video coming out about it on Wednesday, which I guess is today. Wait, yeah, today. Well, actually, no, Wednesday's tomorrow. Sorry, I'm starting to get messed up on my days. It's tomorrow, kind of summarize my thoughts on some of this. But one thing to know recently is, I don't have the tweet in front of me, but I keep seeing on Twitter about how Binance has, suspended withdrawals on Ether and ERC20 tokens from their platform. Yeah, it's not a good look, put it that way. Somebody says, thank you, I like your calm presentations. Awesome, yeah. I mean, after being in this for a long time, I was literally, I got in crypto in 2017. So this is not my first, bull market. I remember what it felt like at the top, and I remember what it felt like watching the Ethereum price go from, roughly $1,400 all the way down to $80 slowly, and then very, very, very slowly recover after that. So, at some point you just kind of get, you get enough experience, you kind of get hardened to the volatility, and you see what can happen. You learn lessons the hard way, all that kind of stuff. All right, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and answer one or two more questions that will sign up for today. Are the NFT courses live? Yeah, so the Masterclass will be live tomorrow. If you can't make the class on time, you can catch the replay. I'll email out a replay link whenever it's finished. Miners have been talking about how the burn fees and ETH 2.0 cause security issues. I don't have strong opinions on that. I don't think so. The miners don't want EIP 1515. A lot of them don't. So that could be part of that. Do I think it's over? No, I don't think it's over. I think somebody's talking about the sort of crypto bull run. I don't think so. I think we're going to go higher. That's my personal opinion. Again, not a big trader, not a big TA guy, not financial advice. That's just what I think. I haven't cashed out of my positions. I'm still comfy, firm in them. All right, everybody. So that's all I got for today. As always, if you like these videos, be sure to smash the like button. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell. You get notifications about these videos when we go live. Really helps these videos out so more people can learn about blockchain. If you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, how can you get your hands dirty today? You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses there, like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. I just released a new one yesterday, a 2-hour programming tutorial that teaches you the basics about blockchain and also teaches you about DeFi, how to create a digital bank. That's the first video in that playlist. It's also the most recent video that I uploaded on YouTube. If you like those videos, you went to the next step, or hey, you want to become a blockchain developer, just get started right now, you want to take a master shortcut, you can go over to my dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You can sign up to get started today. I help people with zero programming experience become real world blockchain developers in a matter of months. And, I keep overloading you with announcements here, but don't forget that NFT Masterclass is tomorrow. So I'll put a link down below where you can sign up for that as well. I'll do it after this video wraps up. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.